call the Public Works, Park, Rec, and Railroad Committee meeting to order. Need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the prior meeting. Supervisor Molino, seconded by Supervisor Loeb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll start right in with our agenda. We have Ed Ellis from the Saratoga North Creek Railway. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I know we had committee members that had asked, and also Mr. Gary had asked if he could come and attend the meeting.
I'm here. I have a question.
Sure.
Where's Dick Lucian?
I didn't set this meeting. I didn't.
I mean, isn't he the partner in this contract?
Yeah.
You guys are lone rangering this without him, is that the idea?
Well, we don't know yet, right?
Do you think he should be here too, if we're going to have a discussion about the contract?
I was actually asked to set this meeting up to ask for the committee and Mr. Gary to ask you questions. He had reached out to you numerous times and didn't get a response. So that's how this meeting was precipitated. It wasn't for anything other than that.
Well, I'm glad you invited me because as a result of the actions on car storage, you basically created a devastating financial situation for us. It cost us millions of dollars. The cars are all moving out. No customer will do business with us, so congratulations. You succeeded on that. Now you guys have to decide if you want to have a railroad. If you want to have a railroad, the only way to do it is you need to buy the Tahoz line from us, or else we're just not going to have the financial ability to stay here. If you buy the Tahoz line, if you pay $5 million for it, I'll pay all the bills and run the contract out. Otherwise, we just don't have a way to financially sustain it. About as clear as I can
Mr. Loeb?
We had a meeting last week regarding the potential freight. Appeared to be more than just potential, like it was going to happen. When we first signed the contract with you, we had various vendors who were making proposals. And besides the fact of your financials, which were more promising than the other folks, your big issue was potential freight. That it would take a few years, but there was a gold mine there, and that was the basis of the decision to keep the railroad, because the railroad was really on the cusp of whether we were going to tear up the tracks. There were those that said, let's tear up the tracks. We had tried the scenic tours, they wouldn't work, and as you can see with just the passenger, there's not enough revenue just the passenger. But the goal was freight, so now you have freight. But I'm hearing from you now that it really wasn't going to make it anyway.
We do not have freight. We have the potential for freight. We're in the 7th year. We would not have renewed this contract if Paul Duzek had said you can't do car storage. That's the only reason we renewed the contract. I wrote to Paul Duzek. It's in the record, and I said, because of car storage, we will renew this contract. If you guys had said then, no car storage, I would have been out of there then, because we had already invested several $1 million in this railroad, and we had done our best. We brought in several $1 million worth of equipment. We have beautiful zone cars and coaches, and we are getting zero return on those cars here at Saratoga. We get better return on them somewhere else than we would here. We renewed the contract on the strength of car storage, which you guys have now tanked for us. I would love to have some freight. You buy the Tahoz line for $5 million. I'll stick around for the rest of this contract, and I'll work my butt off to develop the freight, and we'll see if the freight comes along. But I'm not going to do it on my nickel.
That's fair. Okay. It's okay by me. We would like to have, I like the idea of the transit. I like the fact that we have a Northway, we have an airport, we have rivers, rail's tradition in the country, but it's just another avenue.
I've been completely in alignment with you guys on that, and we've invested our own money, millions of dollars of it, to try to make that happen. And I'm willing to continue. You give me $5 million, I'm telling you, it's going to cost me 3.5 of the $5 million just to run the railroad over the next few years. So I would be betting on the come still. I'd be betting on the come that freight would come along, and I'm willing to do that. I'm just not willing to do it on my own nickel.
I suspect that at least from my angle, that $5 million isn't going to be forthcoming. In fact, going back to my original statement, the reason we have railroad now is because it was going to be something that was viable, not just from support from the government, but the fact that you would be a viable commercial operation.
The only reason we came, we didn't come in to subsidize Warren County and the county. I think your state has billions of dollars on railroads. I would run down the Northway there about 35 miles and ask them for the $5 million. They told me that they have it, but they don't have the mill to fund it yet. But you guys are important county here. We're going to set up, we can see, look, we can solve the storage car problem, we can solve the whole issue. We need to have ownership of this line. They're putting a lot more than $5 million a year into railroads in the state of New York. And that gives you complete control over the track, the right-of-way, and everything else going forward.
Okay, one more question for me. Going back to 8 years ago, the initial premise of we can do this because we're going to get freight. That really isn't the case anymore.
What we did, we bought the Tajas line, we reopened it, we leased freight cars, we invested in all kinds of marketing efforts. We went to Albany to work on rail barge transfer, we worked with Canadian Pacific, we worked with maybe 15 or 20 different stone customers. Everything was promising. Yep, absolutely, we're going to do this. We can get you 5,000, 10,000 cars a year. Nothing has happened. And I can tell you that I've railroaded for 40 years. I've been involved in a lot of railroad marketing projects. And this one does have promise. There's absolutely no question about it. But it's not soup yet.
Well, that's too bad, 'cause I was really happy about all this, but maybe we're at a fork in the road. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Claudia?
You just talked about all the investments that you put into the railroad in the very beginning, and that was, I'm glad that Supervisor Wells is here because he was on the board back then. I was not. What it had to do with trying to create a viable freight option and also having the tourist train. It did not have anything to do with let's put in tank cars and store them up there. So I reject your idea that possibility not being there anymore is what has caused you to lose all of your investment. You put in the investment in order to have a viable freight option, and we were told at the last meeting that that was happening, that you already had a contract and they were going to start running in 2 weeks. So now you're saying it's only a potential for freight. Can you please explain where we are with the status of the freight being moved on the line?
Well, with all due respect, your analysis of storage cars is sophomore at best. Maybe not even that good. The reality is, we stayed here 2 years ago. We were in this room, we were in that room, and we were in meetings with smaller groups, and we said, lots of storage until we can develop freight, because we knew it would take a while. The freight that Justin talked about last month is tiny. It's a couple of cars, a handful of cars. It's not anything that's going to make this railroad viable, and it's not expandable. What has to happen is Tajas. It's been plain and simple, and that way we bought the Tajas line in 3 months after we started up here. We sat in this room and we explained to people that in order for this railroad to be viable, we needed freight. We bought the Tajas line, we opened it up, we've been working first with National Lead and now with the buyer of the property to try to come up with something. And there is nothing up there yet. Now, if something came tomorrow, that would be great. I would love for it to happen. But we're out of time here. We're out of time. And Barton Mine is a great potential customer, but they are a handful of cars, not enough to make 100 miles of railroad viable.
Go ahead.
I think I agree with you there. We are out of time. There's been, this has been worked on for over 7 years.
Yep.
And
We're in a agreement on something,
It
that's right.
counts. I think if a deal was to be struck with Alice, especially now with the new owner, that would have happened. And there isn't anything else up there, unless, you know...
No, there's nothing else up there. The whole point is there's 100 million tons of stone on the ground. There's really a recycled material that ought to be moved out of there. And I feel bad for the new owners of the Haas because you said there were other applicants. I'm going to tell you that really, in 2010, there were no other applicants. You can go back, and I'll be happy to go through the other two people that showed up. But in terms of actual bids, I think you got one actual bid.
I agree, I did say that.
So the bottom line is, there really hasn't been anybody else that was willing to take on the financial burden of Town of Corinth and Warren County's railroad to develop it from scratch, except us. We were it. And we have stepped up to the plate. We have invested, bought the line, we have fixed track, we have run passenger trains, we even opened a craft center in North Creek to try to attract people to ride the train in North Creek. We did everything we could to partner with Warren Mountain. And none of that has resulted in financial viability. But when we came to you guys 2 years ago and said, look, it's going to take a while to develop solar cars, you could have said at that point no, and I would have been out of here like a super light. But no, here I am now, 2 years later, and having been induced to renew the contract by you guys going along with that, and now completely telling me, no, you can't do that, and the state telling me, no, you can't do that. Now I'm millions of dollars in the hole. And so you figure it out. You guys need to meet without me. You need to decide if you want to go. You want me to leave? Write me a letter and say, Ed, thank you very much. Goodbye. I'm gone. You're not going to have to get into any kind of, fight over whether, the contract is terminated. I'll be out the door. I'll let you have your railroad back. You can go find somebody else.
Mr. Beatty?
Ed, would you refresh my memory? How much did you pay for this Haas function?
I have to refresh my memory, but it was over $1 million.
You're looking now for 5?
We put another $2 million into the opening the line, and we got about another, don't hold me to these numbers because I don't have any numbers in front of me, but we got another $2 or $3 million in the line here, and so if I got $5 million out, the smart thing for me to do would be to simply say, hey, give me the $5 million and I'm leaving. No. Because I'm, the kind of guy that really wants this railroad to succeed. I'm saying, you buy the line from me for $5 million, I'll continue to run, and if I lose the $5 million over the rest of the life of the contract because I didn't get the freight, I'm not leaving town with anything, under any circumstances. The only way I would leave town to something is if we were wildly successful developing the freight, we got 10,000 cars of stone from the Haas, and everybody lived happily ever after. I'm willing to still believe in that outcome. It is almost Easter, and I'm hoping Easter Bunny brings me some chocolate cake.
I had a follow-up question. If I recall, and I've been on the board this is my 5th year, you stated that you would never put hazardous cars or storage up in the Adirondack. Now, we're kind of naive up here, and I think that meant to us, at least it meant to me, that there'd never be cars stored in the Adirondacks. I wasn't aware. I'm not a railroad guy. That's not my area of expertise. That there's a difference between clean cars and hazardous cars. So when you stated that, I remember sitting there thinking, well, then that means he won't store cars up in the Adirondack. So I felt good with that. And I'll be honest with you, I felt good with that. Now, sure, our county attorney or Paul Dusick at the time jumped in, or our county administrator Paul Dusick, or our county attorney Martin. I don't know, but I perceived that as we would never have storage cars in the Adirondack.
I actually put that in writing.
Well, no, I didn't see the writing. I'm saying what you said at the meeting when I was standing
I was reading from a document that's in your records, and it said that we would be storing going to start store cars in the Adirondacks to anybody. We most certainly said all along that it was our goal to recover some of the financial investment by storing cars on the Paz line, which is in the Adirondacks. So I'm not going to give you that.
Okay, well, I'll have to look back at the video. Maybe I just heard the part that said you're not going to ever store hazardous cars up there. Maybe that's the only part I heard, and I won't give you that yet until I go back to the video and actually
No,
look at
I think you should
it.
look at it.
Because I heard that part indicated to me there wasn't going to be cars stored up there. But maybe you said the other part, maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm not saying you would lie. I'm just saying I'd have to check the tape on that.
I wish you would, because I think we were clear about it. With all due respect, that this is something that was a pivot point for us when the contract was being renewed. And the only reason we signed the document to renew the contract was because we had gone through that process with this group, with a small group, with a large group. And nobody said, no, you can't store those. Nobody said that. And you can check all the videos on it. Nobody said
I
that.
was on those committees, but was that conversation with Mr. Dusick?
The conversation was in this room, that room, and in a small conference room with a smaller group that...
And who was in that
worked
meeting? Do
specifically
you
on
remember
it.
who was in that small group, that small conference group?
Well...
Wasn't me.
I probably was in there, but I don't remember.
Was,
I could have been in there. I don't know. I have to look at the
negotiating
document.
committee was, you guys set up a negotiating committee, and it was Paul and you and... I think Gene
I'm not really sure about that.
4 or 5
Who was there?
Okay, Claudia, and then,
The storage issue aside, the county supported it the last go-around when I was here because two things, the freight, the potential for freight, and the tourist trains. I'd like to know, I mean, I know you're behind on the payments. I'd like to know if there are plans for the tourist trains this summer. Are they running?
You guys are going to decide. You guys are going to decide. I'm trying to make this really clear. There is either purchase of the Tahaz line or we are done. D-O-N-E.
Okay, so that's enough.
That's a no. Capital N and an exclamation mark after it.
And that is as clear as it can be.
Shroud?
So if you work out a deal with National Lead, bring your tailings out of there, you're still done.
No?
No, okay, so there is an open door in that if you can work out a deal with National Lead to bring the tailings out of there, you're okay.
No, you got two completely different things here. They're working out a deal with National Lead. Actually, it's not National Lead.
Paul Mitchell.
They sold property to...
Paul Mitchell.
Paul Mitchell Trucking.
Paul Mitchell.
Right.
So if you worked out a deal with Paul Mitchell, bring the tailings out.
And there's a purchase of the Tahaz line, then we're still here. What I'm saying is, somebody needs to take it off my hands. It's a nice railroad, just two owners.
You wouldn't make enough money to bring the tailings out?
We're not going to have time to find out. The amount of time that it's going to take to put that deal together is months or more than a year. It's not something that's going to happen next week. We're at a decision point. We haven't paid you guys. We're in violation of the contract. You have the ability to say, goodbye, we're canceling the contract, you're in violation, that's why we're here, you're having that discussion, and if you want to cancel the contract, cancel away. If you want us to stay, and keep in mind that we have invested millions of dollars, and we're the only ones in the country who have a train like this. And we are willing to continue to work on this policy. If you want us to stay, somebody's got to get in the car and go down to Albany and pay $5 million. And I'm not saying it's exactly $5 million. If somebody came back and said it's $10 million, I would think.
I just want to clarify, so we didn't have this meeting to decide yes or no on a contract today.
So that, I want to clarify
Yeah,
why we got him here.
yes, but I just had to clear that up. That isn't why we...
That's okay, that's okay.
But the contract with Paul Mitchell couldn't be viable enough
Absolutely.
to run. So that's the point I'm trying to...
No, absolutely. That would be the reason for you guys to take a step. For you to work this out with us, because the Paul Mitchell thing could actually be very good for a lot of people, because we're talking about stone that doesn't have to be permitted and quarried. And in today's world, it's getting harder and harder to get a permit for a quarry. People don't want to dig up some new hole. And especially if you've got 100 million tons of rock sitting up there that can be used, it makes all kinds of sense to use that rock before you go dig up a new hole and find some other one. And in England, they actually subsidize that. If you want to open a new quarry, you have to pay £1.75 per ton for every ton that you extract. But if you use waste material from an old quarry, you don't pay that £1.75. They're giving an advantage to recycled material, which to me makes environmental sense to everyone. And I wish that, we would work out something so that Paul Mitchell could, 100 million tons of stone, you realize if we moved 10,000 cars a year at 100 tons, that's a million. That's 100 years. That would make this railroad viable for a long, long time. And, whether we made money on the tourist train or not really wouldn't matter to anybody if we were able to put that together. But we're out of time. And so, Matt, I'm trying to be respectful in this conversation. I love you guys. I've enjoyed working here. I love Justin and Steve and everybody who works for the railroad. It's a beautiful train ride. We love the people who ride our trains, and we certainly want to stick around and do freight, but we just can't unless there's something that changes. We supported you guys. You want us to stay. Bottom line is we need your support.
When I came on in 2006 from my prior job, this line was never going to make it without freight. And when we negotiated a contract with you, one of our big goals was to get freight. And we talked about it, and we talked about different businesses on the line. So let's get that straight. The line was always going to never, because I dealt with the railroad, Canadian Pacific, for international paper, okay? Then the biggest thing is the reason why you got the contract is because you could provide the insurance needed to ever do the interchange in Saratoga Springs. $100 million worth of insurance, which was needed. You were the only one, when they bid, who could provide the insurance, okay? The reason why I asked you here is because it was purely financial. Meeting your obligation to the Treasurer's Office, who wrote you up every month for not sending in your reports and paying us the $379 or whatever you owed us. That's why I asked you here, not to talk about freight. Now, there have been discussions. I've only been involved in one discussion about the potential freight deal of bringing the freight out of to Hawes. I see that they just got permitted to truck it out, I think 25,000 tons or something like that by truck out of there. I saw the legal ad in the paper the other day, and I believe they've got their permit. But to run freight on the line would make it valuable. As far as storage of cars, I voted to allow you to store cars on your line. It didn't pass the board for whatever reason. Some people felt that the sight of those cars were unsightly. I voted to let you do that because I thought it would help your financial position, and at least we get our $392 and I wouldn't have to read about it every month. Well, we still haven't got the money, and now the board voted not to allow you to store cars on your own property, and then the state stepped in, and it's a big deal now.
All the customers came right back to us and said...
I'm sure there's political pressure put on all the customers.
You guys
So
did a great job.
I don't know if you generated any revenue from what you stored on the line in that short period of time. I wish you would pay us our $300 so we can get you off our report. That's what I wish. But that's why you're here. Now, as far as this other stuff, I know a little bit about the peripheral of running the stone out of there. I know other people have been working on that. I know, we own the line from North River south or from North Creek south. You own the line there. I don't know what to say. Unless you have contracts, it's only talk.
Exactly.
It's
That's
only
exactly
talk.
Right. And
Unless you have a signed contract, it's only talk. And then you can have a signed contract and still get in trouble for it.
yeah.
But anyways, so that's where I stand on this. My only reason for having you come here is to say, would you please pay up the county, please follow the reports that were owed, and but this other business about buying a line, that's not going to happen. That line was offered to Newcomb. They didn't purchase it. He had federal grant money to buy that line, and George Cannon decided not to buy the line. He got $700,000. He put it in sewers in the town of Newcomb. I remember all this,
I know, I took my sweater off and somebody had put a sticker on the back that said sucker.
well, anyways, I'm just saying that. I feel for you on the rail storage. It's kind of a political issue, and you're suffering, but the county's suffering too because we need to be made whole up until that point. If this board wants to walk away from it, and we're not going to find anybody else to take the line over. I understand that. Because nobody else had the financial wherewithal to do what was needed to allow us to move freight all the way down through to the other lines.
Really, you're absolutely right, Kevin. And
Yes.
It's 5 things. It's the insurance.
Yes.
It's the ability to make a deal with Canadian Pacific to actually interchange in Saratoga. They're not going to interchange with the rinky-dink tourist.
No, I understand that.
It's being able to develop freight, having resources to acquire cars to haul the freight, and having the kind of relationship with the Class 1 railroads to be able to make viable freight rates
Right.
that will allow the county to move. And we have all of those, but in spite of our best efforts,
I know. And let's get back to the storage of cars. Let's get back to the storage of cars. The reason why we had the conversation about the storage of cars because Knowles Atomic Lab had some waste that you wanted to run up through Corinth to store some of that waste from an atomic Knowles. I believe that's where it was, in Wilton or somewhere. And that raised a ruckus, and then we had the meeting and said no storage of hazardous waste cars. I don't know, it's my understanding there's a difference between a placard car and a non-placard car, and these were clean. At one time you wanted to put placard cars up there, and that we consider that to be a hazardous waste because they could leak oil, or at least, I don't know if we did, but some environmental groups. So let's get that straight. And I did vote to allow you to store cars on your property, and it didn't work out. So
it didn't work out. We had 3 contracts, and only one of them actually produced storage cars. And then almost as soon as they got here, the political pressure was too much, and they said, of course, we haven't moved them out yet because there's 19 feet of snow up there.
right. Well, I drove by the line yesterday, so. But that's always been my take. Since 2006, it hasn't changed. If somebody who's on that rail line didn't get freight, that line would never be viable.
We've worked
And
very hard to do that. You guys have
we
too.
talked about hauling potatoes, we talked about hauling lumber, we talked about hauling a lot of stuff on the line. It just never materialized.
Logs, garnets, just anything that anybody would move. We spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, a lot of effort, been to a lot of meetings, and is somebody that might actually have the freight.
Well, I just want to clear the record on that. And like I said, I do not remember the language in the contract. I don't even know if I was there in the room. I do remember reading some language about storage of cars. And I have to dig it out of a box somewhere. But perhaps, Mary, you have the old contracts. So, but I just want to set the record straight. I've always been an advocate that this railroad would never make it as a tourist train without freight.
Andrea?
You took Ron's place. Congratulations.
I've read it a couple times. The nature of it is that it includes all of the passenger language. Was that it was an agreement between the county and you, your company, that had a vision not only for profit making, but also for bringing benefits to communities of the line serves. So, to that end, I don't see how the uproar about the storage of the cars really could have been that shocking. It was contrary to the nature. Now to my question. You keep saying we're out of time. I'm not sure I really understand that statement. There's still time on this contract.
We are not able to continue operating the Okay, if your municipal budget had $100,000 more than the revenue that you
I get the economics of it, but the fact of the matter is, you're in arrears, and you did make some money off the storage of the cars.
whether I did or not, I had to pay. There is in Sarasota. It's not been a good winter. We had snow removal costs and canceled a bunch of trains because the track is closed. And so that's why I'm saying we're not going to be able to open this summer. There will be no trees to North Creek, no trees to anywhere in summer. It's just that simple.
And obviously no payments can happen.
And obviously no payments. And I'm sorry we haven't met. I spent a lot of time with the two previous supervisors when we got the railroad started. A huge effort with North Creek. You're absolutely right about the contract. There's a lot of pass-through language in there and lots of different kinds of trains that we ran together. Services. We built a craft center on Main Street to try to attract people. We made some efforts to try to get some concerts into that. What is that space called that's down the street?
I've been there for all of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Okay. And
But my observation is just that the language of that contract,
Well, that's why
was
we
very
made
much
a-
about what was the benefit of these communities in and out of the Adirondack. It's quite,
Well, except that when we went to renew the contract, I was with you at that point. I was with you in the sense that I didn't know what people's reaction would be when I said storage. And so I was very clear in saying, in order for us to renew the contract, you have to accept the idea that I'm making an opportunity, not you personally, the board had, but the board had an opportunity to say, whoa, wait a minute, no, we're not in for that. Let's not do that. And the board didn't make that decision. The board said, let's renew the contract with the full knowledge that I had made a presentation and I was turning these cars across this line, not storing them on the line because the contract doesn't allow me to store them on the line. Moving them across the line, part of the line. And the board said, no, we don't want you to do that at that time. We would be having this discussion.
right. But you do agree that a contract is a relationship and partnership.
Do, and so was the renewal. And part of that renewal was developing that partnership to include storage.
But it's a big part
Nobody
of the
decided
partnership.
not to do that.
A big part of the partnership is
Been to this room 32 times. Justin has been here over, he was here before. Not on a first-name basis with you, but certainly with the previous two, and Gene, and with Kevin and Matt and Paul.
But my point here is before you walk in any relationship or any partnership, before you walk in, you declare this is over. Don't you try to improve communication and improve
Yep, I
what you're
believe I
doing
have
today
done
is not
that.
that.
I was here last fall, this whole process, and where it broke was when you took the vote. When you took the vote, and voted down storage cars, a year and a half after renewing the contract with me, that was the broken communication. I know, I didn't really feel like the love of that.
Bobby?
Mr. Ellis, I'm having a hard time. I know that you're really disappointed about not being able to store the cars there, but what you were saying in the fall, whenever we took that vote, was that you were going to store those cars as long as possible. And that does not jive with you also trying to get freight on there and move it from the mine. I mean, you were telling us if you had said, I'm not sure I would have believed you, but if you had said, this is just something I need to do over this winter, and then we're gonna get going with the house under the new ownership. But you were telling us we were going in a completely different direction.
No, and the reason I said that, Claudia, I mean, you're absolutely right, you can say that, because what I also said was that I saw the storage as a bridge. Of the freight revenue. The stone is absolutely viable, but it isn't going to happen now, it isn't going to happen next year. It's going to take some time to develop, and the storage is a bridge. But the other thing I said is the storage contracts all have... So if the stone comes along, those guys out and we can do it. But yeah, I wanted them to stay there for as long as possible so that I could recover millions of dollars I've invested.
I think so that another point to make is that you've said numerous times you've done your best effort.
Yeah,
And you have. And it's not working.
it's not.
I mean, maybe it is time to say that's that.
I'm giving you that option, throw me out. And I realize, Kevin, that wasn't the purpose of the meeting, and I understand that. I know you wanted the $379. Howard sent me a text this morning, and it's actually $379.82 or whatever.
I got pretty good memory.
Yeah.
I've read it every month.
Yeah, but the reason I wanted to come was because, the issue is the rental, in the sense that we don't have the ability to pay. And so I've expanded that a little from, we don't have the ability to pay it, to why not, and what can be done about it. And so, I'm happy to answer any other questions anybody has, but I really think that this is a matter for the committee and the board to decide whether you want a railroad or trip. Because if you want a railroad, you need to help the operator. And I understand what you're saying, that you don't think that that's possible. The guy who's the Secretary of Transportation for the state of New York, anybody know what his name is?
David Kratz. David Kratz. Paul Kratz.
Paul Karras is practically my next door neighbor. He lives in Western Springs, Illinois. I live in the Grange. How he got to be Secretary of Transportation, you guys can figure that out. But when we got into this whole thing with the DEC, Paul was afraid to talk to me because he didn't want to do some, politically improper thing. But through a third-party friend of ours, he said, "What does Ed want?" And so I said to my third-party friend, "I simply want somebody to buy the Haas line, and I'll take the money and put it back into the operation." And he said to my third-party friend, "That makes perfect sense. We should do that." So, that's why I'm saying, don't say no to that concept, because there's at least somebody in Albany who's predisposed to it. Now, I don't think he gets to even think about that, because I think the BBC can put the electrodes to his ears. But, you guys can at least go down there if you're interested in having a railroad that provides great passenger service to North Creek and provides freight service to Tahoz, moving the recycled material, and has $100 million of insurance and paid civic service. We're perfectly willing to continue doing all that if the solution can be worked out. And I think it's for you guys to think about it. Maybe this isn't the meeting. Maybe you need to go back and think about it and have another meeting. I don't know, but I just wanted to be clear, and Claudia asked the question exactly the right way so that I could be clear in my answer that we would love to stay here, but we can't.
Mr. Leggett?
Just to clarify the resolution that was in front of the board of supervisors about the storage tanks was in support of Essex County's opposition to the storage. And the board of supervisors supported Essex County and their resolution.
Right. Anything else?
No, I've got other questions right behind you.
Mr. Ellis, appreciate just had a comment and a question. Having attended a lot of meetings up here over the years, the word exists.
Sounds weird, you can't shout out.
Much better.
All right.
all I can say is that I explained it clearly, and I answered every question clearly, and I stated at the podium, answering questions until there were no more other questions, and I never did I say, I refuse to answer. I answered the questions.
And then my question why we owe
you don't owe me. You absolutely, we evidenced good faith, at the time, and so I'm not saying that you have to buy the Tahoe line. I'm saying that if you want to see the railroad continue to carry passengers, there has never been a subsidy. Subsidy is a bad word as far as ever use the word subsidy, John puts it in a headline, and he gets 1,000 comments, and we never asked for it. We're really not interested in being in that kind of a situation. So we've lost money, we've lost our money, we've lost money. Mike's money and the shareholders' money. We haven't lost your money, we've lost our money. And until the last few months, we've also paid you a rental for a line that we're losing money. So we didn't ask for something. And we're not asking for something now. We're asking for an investment. Investment not very good. We make a lot of investments. Investment not in infrastructure, roads, and so, F6, Newfound, State, or whoever, somebody needs to invest in the Tahoe line to keep it available to the Stone. Make that investment. You buy that line, I'm still not asking for something. I'll take the purchase price of the line, which I think is a fair purchase price, and I will use that money to run the railroad, and hopefully, over the next few years, now that the stone quarry is sold to somebody who really wants to make money, over the next few years, the amount of money that we pay for the purchase of the line, I will be able to use that to develop that stone business and make it a viable line.
Mr. Beatty?
Yeah, I just want to be clear. I think the security asked you here today not to pay $379. I think you're in arrears of $27,000. Am I correct?
Well, I can tell you
Treasurer?
this. I've got it right here in my phone. I can tell you that.
Okay, well, we have our treasurer here. Is that correct? 27,000, okay. I think that was the figure.
28,880.
Okay, so 28,000. So it wasn't $379. I just want to make sure that we were clear that, we respect your time, and we wouldn't want you to come in from Chicago for $379.
More than that.
28,000 seems a little more reasonable.
Yeah, and that includes 4,931.14, which is the minimum shortfall for new funds.
I just want to make sure we weren't abusing your time for
No. I'm happy to be here.
Mr. Molino?
We've done a long time, and I've been supported like Kevin with this railroad. And that meeting, he must ask you 5 times, 10 times, and they'll go back and look at the film. Hazardous material. And he kept saying no. And when the freight car, those oil tankers came in, they weren't round and black. They were clean like you say they were. It would have been possible to go. Because they were round and black, caused all the problems. They were clean, I take your word for that, and I respect you on that, but that was a big thing. And then it got into their oil tankers, so they're hazardous materials, but they really weren't.
No,
But they were round and black, and it scared a lot of people that like to worry about the environment, which I appreciate. People clean that. That's where we went, that's where it went wrong, but we did allow you to put cars up there.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything you did. You've been a great promoter over the years. We were good on our word here, and when we started making contracts, we said we should try to take it for less. visible if you hiked in 3 miles, and so everybody made big and we lost. So we lost, and so early lost.
Okay, anything further?
You couldn't, in our contract, it says you can't store cars. Only if you had freight valuable that you could store the cars. Those cars were never going to be stored on Warren County tracks. That's what our contract says. No storage of any cars. No storage of junk. I would question a couple of those cars up by you going to North River, but we talked about that you didn't own them. I drove by one yesterday. It wasn't very pleasant to be on the tracks. But anyways, you could never store cars on our track. That's in our contract. But what you do with your own track was your business.
Didn't turn out that way.
But if we had viable freight on the line, then there would be hopper cars or whatever. If it was stone, there will be cars stored on the tracks and they could use it for freight. But as far as storing cars on Warren County tracks, it's in our contract. Wasn't going to happen.
Gene, you have another question?
Just the only other comment, we could work something out. Put a lot of effort into the last 15 years or so. You all put a lot of effort since 1994.
I know you have.
When we started this stuff. But a lot of little towns along the way, and a lot of hopes for things to stop and people go up. So, and we still do. So, maybe it's not the end yet. I don't know. Let's give it some time.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. I really enjoyed working with you guys, and love all the little things. Love working with the county, love taking care of the little towns, and all kinds of things. Some of them work better than others,
Mr. McGowan?
Yes, Ed, I want to thank you for, Brad McGowan, Queensbury, was elected and I've been a train buff really since I've been a kid. And back in the 70s, Warren Buffett really pushed to invest in our tracks and train in distribution across the country, and then taking the trucks to run them small, because you can move so much more tonnage by the penny, Yep. And I really hope that something does come out of the north, for these tailings, which would be beneficial for all of us, instead of digging another hole somewhere and crushing it. So I've been hoping that maybe something can come out of Albany to help all of us. But I do want to thank you for doing the best you can. I understand where you're coming from. Being a business owner, you can only go so far as what you do. So but all the tourism and that and everything that you have brought to the area in trying to make this viable has been an asset to our area.
Okay, is there anything further? Andrea?
Do you still have a contract?
You do.
Well, the little bit is part of my
Sounds like your contract's in jeopardy.
But we still have a contract.
We have a contract, but we have no financial wherewithal to fulfill it.
So is your company declaring bankruptcy?
Yeah. We're here to see us
Loeb?
Just one question, how many more years do we have on the contract?
You signed it.
How many? 3? So 15, the $5 million would give us 3 years of service.
Sure.
And then 85% chance that would be it.
You know, I don't really feel that way. I know I've been kind of negative here, but I really do think Potential has a good plan. I think it's going to take them longer than he thinks it's going to take to implement it. I think it might be a year, 2 years before there's enough stuff coming out of there to financially support the railroad. But I think 3 years is enough of a window to really give that a good shot. And I would say 60-40, I think it's going to work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anything further? Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Supervisor Frazier, Supervisor Loeb, all in favor?
Aye.
I know.